I wanted to ask you and how you both take care of yourselves, not like a spa time or eating bowls of ice cream, but like how do you, you go getting through this work, and you especially, Mary, I know, Maeve, you've been writing some really full-on, amazing pieces for the New York Times recently, and what are your coping strategies to sort of get through stress and strain of this current moment?
Well, I think reading is actually something that I didn't know that I did deliberately, but I do think that's really good for my mental health. But I do find reading, and I suppose writing out my thoughts and my feelings, I think it's important not to abandon your feelings in these times, but also I'm researching hard and I'm reporting stuff out and I'm writing as much as I can, and that helps me to feel better. But Thimali, like you living here, in a brown body at a time when that's dangerous, I guess maybe it always has been. What about you? Like, what are you doing? I mean, we can go for a walk, but for you, that can be different depending on your neighborhood.
Oh, yeah. I really appreciate you saying that, Maeve, actually. Yeah, it is really complicated and
Mm.
emotional. And the last few weeks and months have been really emotional and difficult.
Mm.
Um, but I would say, similarly to Mary, being in nature is there's
Right.
nothing like it. Like, it is the place to heal. It does. There's no judgment in nature. There's no arguments. There's just no pushback. It's just all care, and it's you feel the absorption of all of that stress and strain
Wow.
immediately disappear as soon as you're in the trees or standing on grass, or meditating on a flower, or looking at these incredible architectural structures and plants, and staring at bugs doing weird things. And the difficulty about being in nature is that rural spaces are not accessible for a lot of folks of color, comfortably at least. But also, I would say the having community of in particular Black and brown women is
Mm.
enormous for me, because it provides three things for me. It provides solace, like a place to cry and be sad and be miserable, and which are the accurate emotions to be feeling right now and
Yeah.
always. And it provides empowerment, because we can get together and say, no, actually, you're amazing, no, you're amazing, no, you're amazing, and lift each other up and pick each other back up again. And then the last thing really is resistance, and that is it's sort of strategizing. Okay, what do we do next? Like, how do we keep going? What about you, Mary? You've had all the most stressful jobs known to womankind. What's self-care for you?
Well, I must say, whenever I've done a Zoom event, and there are a lot of them every day now, I always like to go out for a walk, out into
Mm.
the air, out just and breathe deeply and just get away from the screen and everything else.
Have you always done that, Mary?
I've always liked walking, yes.
Yeah. And
I'm not,
you,
I don't jog, I'm not a fitness person, but I like to walk.
yeah. And I think you're a fan of poetry as well, too, aren't
Oh,
you?
very much so, yes. These
Yeah.
books behind me contain quite a few poetry books.
Do you have any favorites?
Um, Lots. I have a dear friend who died recently, Evan Boland,
Oh,
who was
yeah.
the professor of poetry in Stanford University. And we were in Trinity College together as students.
Oh,
And
wow.
she was the very practical, and I was the dreamy lawyer. I longed to be a poet. We became utterly such good friends and remained so for life. And she died very suddenly, quite
Mm.
recently. And
Oh,
I
that's so
feel the
sad.
loss. I feel it deeply.
Oh. What is
I'm
it
so
that
sorry.
poetry does for you?
Yeah, I didn't know that you were good friends like that. For those who don't know, Evan Boland was, I would say, one of the most important poets in Irish literature. Mary, would you be able to read one of her poems for us?
Yes, I'd love to do that. I'll read the first part of a long poem. This poem was written to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Irish women getting the vote, and it's called Our Future Will Become the Past of Other Women. Show me your hand, I see our past, your palm roughened by heat, by frost, by pulling a crop out of the earth, by lifting a cauldron off the hearth, by stripping rushes dipped in fat, to make a wick, make a rushlight. That was your world, your entry to our ancestry in our darkest century. Ghost sufferer, our ghost sister, remind us now again that history changes in one moment with one mind, that it belongs to us, to all of us. As we mark these 100 years, we will not leave you behind. No one is left behind or should be. It goes on, but it's a lovely poem.